Steel Curtain Network.
Touchdown! Touchdown para Calvin Austin! El Monte Washington es arma. ¿Quién más? ¿Quién más? DJ Watt!
What is up, Steeler fans, and welcome back to another Steel Curtain Network post-game show. The Steelers win a wild one in Motown, Ford Field, 29-24. There is so much to unpack. I mean, talk about Christmas themes here. I mean, there's so much to unpack in this game. The wild ending, the crazy third quarter. We're going to do it all for you right here. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by Dave Schofield and Bryan Davis. Dave, what's up?
Whoo! I'm still trying to recover because I still don't know what I watched both at the end of the first half and at the very end of the game. I'm still trying to sort that through in my head.
Yeah. Bryan Davis?
Flashback to about 20 minutes ago. Bryan, are you okay? Clear! Clear! Yeah, seriously. Wow. I have not, when my son was a little boy, we'd go out, I'd hold his hand. This is the first time I've held his hand as we watched as we waited for the decision. And then my daughter came in, we're all holding hands, just waiting for it. What a ending.
Well, I'll start the knee-jerk reactions. I'm going to talk about the ending real quick because those officials, I know that by the letter of the law, they are supposed to say that the play was ruled a scoring play, even though his forward progress was stopped for yards. But anyways, they could have just come out and said the on the play is offensive pass interference, Amon-Ra's number 14. That negates it. That's it. I know they have to say it, Dave. I know they have to. What? And then we're just going to end game over.
That all came down to if there was time on the clock. If they call us forward progress stopped, there's time on the clock. They got to back it up 10 yards and run another play. By ruling that it was a touchdown and that the play continued, the time ran out, and that meant the game was over. So that was actually a better call for the Steelers that it wasn't ruled dead because you knew it was coming back anyway from the penalty.
But it was a fourth down play.
Yeah, but no, and also, but see, that's the thing. So you're right. It didn't matter either way because then the time wouldn't have. The question is, were they going to make the Steelers take a knee or not?
Yeah, maybe, but it's still at the same time I'm talking about
because if
the
they
whole
call him
drama.
short and it was dead, then there's a second left. The Steelers can decline the penalty, be at the one, and have to snap the ball and get out of the end zone in order for the game to be over. Or they call it a touchdown. There's no time on the clock, but it gets called back anyway, and you don't get another play. It's honestly. It was no matter what, it was going to be good for the Steelers. It was a procedural thing.
I understand the procedural thing. What I'm saying is that the officials butchered the execution of telling the fans, the crowd, the teams, for crying out loud. Yeah. I mean, I'm watching down here, and I'm watching Jared Goff's face. It's not good because if it was been, yes, it's going to be a Detroit touchdown, he would have been high-fiving, cheering everyone. And he was just stone cold because he didn't believe that it was going to turn out this way. Just absolutely butchered. I mean, it was a wild ending, and that just caps off a bunch of very questionable calls. I'll put it that way. Bryan, what's your take on all that?
Well, you know what? I'm really confused with everything you guys are saying. For me, I think what Jeff's saying, and I'm not sure, is, look, you're supposed to tell us what the call is right away. Yeah. And that's what I think. Should have said touchdown and have everybody freaked out. Now we're going to sort it out.
Yeah, I mean, my brother sends me a text like, what do you think it took? Why do you think it took so long? And my answer was they were waiting to see the security detail, just like the Immaculate Reception. Yeah. How many people can we have protect us if we call this against Pittsburgh? All right, touchdown Steelers. That was the rumor that they went into the dugout at Three River Stadium in 1972 for the Immaculate Reception. This case in Ford Field, probably not the same. But anyways, this was a wild, wild game. Knee-jerk reaction, Dave, I'll let you go.
Knee-jerk reaction was... when it came down to it on that last play, whether the Lions scored a touchdown or they didn't, I was going to be like, hey, I wanted to see them play a good game against the Detroit Lions. What I've been really ticked that they lost because, you missed the short field goal, didn't make them have to score the touchdown and get the 2-point conversion, everything else. Yeah. Was I really ticked that my son went bonkers and was running upstairs to tell my wife that the Steelers won when they stopped them on fourth down, only to see two flags come in like 5 seconds later? I'm not saying it just was really late.
Real late.
You know,
you're talking
I'm
about
not
the
saying
Duggar.
it
You're
was
talking about the Duggar DPA.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you slow it down, slow motion, you can see that he was there early, but I could see bang, bang on the play, it being called, it being not called. Yeah. One of my biggest things was Detroit's last touchdown. That was an offensive pass interference that they didn't call. So I'm glad they finally got it right on the last one that wasn't a touchdown. So my knee-jerk reaction is we wanted this team to be able to play with a quality team and come up with a signature win. They were what? It ended up being 7.5 points, the line at the beginning of the game, Jeff?
Right before kickoff? I don't know what it was before.
Yeah, I'd seen it move to 7.5. So we'll ultimately see what happens. And they got the victory on the road. That's a big one. This time of year when Steelers fans are really hesitant because of last year. I know that's a very long knee-jerk reaction, but I can't even still wrap my brain around what I saw.
Brian, what's your knee-jerk?
Knee-jerk reaction is two quick things. The first thing is I wanted the Steelers to come in, like Dave said, play a good game. But what I wanted to see was a good game plan. And I felt like the game plan was very good all along. And I thought they were executing it quite a bit. Where I'm not going to go into details because we're going to do this later when we talk about the run defense. But wow, that is one of the best running tandems I've ever seen. And the Steelers had a blockbuster running tandem today. The second thing, but what I was thinking, win or lose, I just want them to play well. Second thing, when I'm watching that game go down to it, I'm used to the Steelers in recent years getting screwed over.
Yeah.
And now for 2 times in the last 3 weeks, it seems like the other fans are claiming that they got screwed over. And look, you have fans, you have a right to be upset when you lose and when there's calls that go against you. But the calls against the Steelers were really crazy at the end. The Steelers, bottom line, overcame a lot of things in this game. That's my knee-jerk reaction. I can't wait to break this puppy down. Oh, wait. They played the Lions. I can't wait to break this kitty down.
Oh, very, very nice. All right, let's go to some super chats here before we get on with it. Let's talk with first. Arthur Steele gives us $4.99. Says, Dave, keep picking us to lose. It's good for us. Love you guys. Yeah. Hope DK only gets a fine. Rushing defense played great. Aaron Rodgers controlled the time of possession. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas indeed. It's going to be a fun week, and you get to sit back and enjoy the holidays without the stench of a loss. The DK Metcalf thing, let's just talk about it now. I'm going to say this, and I'll say it on multiple podcasts this week. My issue was, why in God's name was he over by the fans and during the game in the first place? They said that a fan had a number 4 Steelers memorabilia, wanted him to sign it. You say to the guy, I'll get you after the game. Why is he over there? And then he says something, Lord knows what, and it looks like he throws a punch up at the guy. If he was deemed to throw a punch, he's at least suspended a game, if not more than one. Anyone else want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I think he'll get a game. And you're exactly right. Why are you even over there? That's the good question. I mean, that was behind the blue tent. The whole thing is just screwy to me. Yeah.
Brian, anything?
Nothing happens good in a bar after 2 a.m. Well,
unless you're me.
But no, I mean, you shouldn't be in that place. Yeah, he has the biggest problem with him is not his talent. It is just his impulse control, and he could not stop. And the thing is, you're on the field, that guy's in the stands, you've got scoreboard already. It doesn't matter what he says to you.
No, absolutely. All right, let's go to Tyler W. He gives us $1.99. He said, last super chat before I'm committed. Here we go. Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it. Trust me, we're all part of the loony bin tonight. It's easy. All right, let's go to Aaron Fall. He gives us $9.99 and says, free my boy. He ain't do nothing. He's kidding. He said, but you've been to an NFL game. Drunk fans can say some nasty stuff. Not an excuse for a millionaire athlete, but I kind of get it. I don't know what was said. Even if he is dealt a suspension, he'll have the opportunity to appeal. That'll go in front of a former player. Fingers crossed, Ramon Foster, and then we'll see what happens. I doubt it's Ramon Foster. All right, let's go to Dilly Dilly, I'm sure what it is. $4.99 said craziest game I've ever seen. Arthur Smith cooked on some of those drives. Go Pats. Yes, absolutely. Arthur Smith, I thought he had some lulls, but he really called some good plays. And the Patriots just threw an interception as they were in the red zone. So it's 7-0 Baltimore right now. Let's go to Justin Gall, gives us $9.99. Said elite defense for the first 3 quarters, amazing schemes, blitz stunts, limited run after the catch. Highsmith looked amazing, a few drop picks. Chuck Clark, per usual, but why go prevent in the 4th? Dave, any thoughts on this?
I don't think they were in the typical prevent. I've seen that they were not like it was with Miami from what I could see. I really want to know what Coach KT Smith would say about that. I know when Joey Porter Jr. got hit in the McNuggets and went out for a play, I'm like, oh, they might have to simplify some things. Bottom line is if Chuck Clark could just catch one interception, then this thing is so much easier to when it comes down to the end. But that's not what happened. I didn't feel like it was it didn't feel like they were really just giving up the same softness on defense this time compared to what they did last week.
Dave, real quick, was this the first game this season the Steelers lost the turnover battle and won the game?
That would be correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. Brian, any thoughts on the prevent defense?
Yeah, I mean, before that, the commenter mentioned Highsmith. Wow, stud game. Absolute stud game. I thought JPJ, despite the McNuggets, had an amazing game as well. Love saying McNuggets. Now I'm hungry. But yeah, the prevent, I don't know enough right now because I'm not looking at game film. Just from what I saw from the eye test, you're also taking on a team that is expert at scoring quickly. And so, and if I was talking to Kevin Smith the other day, if I was going to go ahead and start a team, it would be Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love him. I think he is tremendous. So, that's typically what happens. But I think there's a lot of control in this league. This is conspiracy tinfoil hat, Brian. They want these games to go down to the end. That's why leads aren't safe. That's why a call here and there doesn't seem like much at the time, but adds up. I really think that this was a case in hey, let's get people over from the other games on Red Zone to get over here or let everybody know. Because the NFL does it all the time. You see the scoring alert. Oh, it's close in the 4th quarter. Didn't I just read it was 38-12? And then there you go. And then you're like, I'm tuning in. I can't miss this. So, yeah. But it's when they're going for it at the end, it's the Steelers are superstars when they're driving and down 2 touchdowns as well. They're completing passes with ease as well. So
Fair enough. Yeah. All right, let's go to Captain Underpants. Brian Haynes gives us $5. Says, I can't stay for the show, catch up tomorrow, but good freaking God, this game was great. Gainwell needs a contract yesterday. Hashtag Ride or Die Crew. Hashtag here we go. Thank you, Brian. Kenneth Gainwell, another stud performance, but he wasn't alone. We'll get to that in a second. Let's go to Permanent Pictures. Gives us $1.99. Says, just like we drew it up. Good game. Or maybe that's good God. Or maybe that's good God. I don't know. And then Abby Vaughn gives us $4.99. Happy holidays. Your guys' content helps smooth the bumpy road of being a Steelers fan and makes my week go by faster. Go Steelers. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the tip. And thank you. Happy holidays to everyone. I mean, it's a great time here. And we got one coming in just now. Let's go to King Gorza 15, $5. Says, flying to Detroit to spend time with my girlfriend for Christmas will be awkward, but I'd rather have the win. Love it. Yes. Take the awkwardness. Okay, here we keep going. I'm sorry. Thanks, Mean Joe. Gives us $10. Says, Darnell flipped the bird to the Lions bench.
No, that wasn't Darnell. That was YA Black.
Okay.
Yeah.
The mic picked up Rodgers asking Jonnu who was coming across in motion. What the F are you doing? I did hear that as well. I thought that was funny. 3, DK taking a swipe and a whiff at the fan. Naughty or nice. Yeah. Mean Joe, hope you're enjoying retirement. First heart attack game as a retired guy. All right. You guys ready for this? Let's start breaking down the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
And let's start off with Aaron Rodgers. I was tough. I don't know. Is he a winner? Is he a loser? I don't know. He finished as 27 of 41. Not a loser, but is he on the winners list is a question I have to ask myself. 27 of 41 for 266 yards, a 6.5 yard average, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He was sacked twice, should have been sacked 3 times and forced the Lions to burn an extra timeout. Nonetheless, 92.1 rating. Guys, what did you think about Aaron Rodgers tonight? Dave, I'll start with you.
Aaron Rodgers tonight, he orchestrated the offense in a way for them to be successful. That I feel it was, did he have, how does his passing yards compare to the last 2 weeks? They're right there.
Yep.
No interceptions. I felt made some wise decisions, took shots like the shots he took to MVS that almost connected. What a beautiful throw. I'd put him on the winners list because he was in command with the offense. And you know what he did? When the running game's going, he kept handing it off.
Yep. Brian, thoughts on Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers is the badass uncle that buys you beer and condoms and covers for you when you come home smelling like puke. He is a tough guy. He is a tough love guy. But man, no matter where his line is, he is orchestrating everything out there like a maestro. No, he's not calling all the plays, but it just seems that last week he said these guys are starting to believe. They believe, and I think they're believing in him. And I'm comfortable with him. I am comfortable with the fact that he's going to get things done. I was interested to see what the guy's going to do with 22 seconds left at one point. Could he get in Boz's range? I thought, I don't think he's perfect. He's 42, but man, he's perfect for this team. Remember that I always forget the name. I think Dave knows the name. The Hillbilly Cowboys or something that Ben Roethlisberger was in their video, the Poverty Neck Hillbillies or something like that. And,
I have no idea what you were talking about.
And the song was, I may not be Mr. Right, but I'm Mr. Right now. And he's Mr. Right now, and he's Mr. Right now, as far as I'm concerned. I loved his play in this game.
I just want one thing. I want the Steelers sideline to always be on high alert to get a play called quickly when Aaron Rodgers is saying, this one might get challenged. Can we please run a play? This happened in Baltimore with Calvin Austin III. It was a conversion play. He saw it because he obviously was facing, Calvin Austin was facing him. The ball hits his chest. It ends up hitting the ground. And he's saying, we got to run a play. I want to get a play off. He was doing the same thing with the Darnell Washington fumble. The Steelers weren't ready. The ball wasn't spotted right away either. It was a very strange.
They weren't lined up right. Washington wasn't on the line of scrimmage. He's trying to get him moved up to the line of scrimmage.
And it didn't happen. Next thing you know, they challenged, but the guy sees it and he's like, we got to run a play quick to try to make sure they don't get it. But nonetheless, it is what it is. I thought Aaron Rodgers, now that I think about it, I thought he was I thought he was in command, and when he can give him a running game, he is still every bit the quarterback that can win you big games. I don't know if he can do it all on his own anymore, but when you give him a running game like the Steelers did today, he got a pretty good chance with Aaron Rodgers for sure. Brian, do you want to say something?
He's a fun cheerleader too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go to the running game. Pittsburgh Steelers rushed for 230 yards. That'll help the average. 27 carries, an 8.5 yard average. They had 2 touchdowns, both from Jaylen Warren, both from 45 yards, and both of those were the longest runs of the day. Jaylen Warren leads the Steelers 14 carries for 143 yards, 10.2 yard average, again, 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Gainwell, 9 for 50. Jonnu Smith, 2 for 28. Loved how they mixed him in. And even Aaron Rodgers, 2 for 9. And it all counts for that 230 yards. Guys, what do you think about the running game? Dave, I'll let you go.
Here's what's interesting. I probably would have been happy if you removed Jaylen Warren's stats other than the touchdowns and just looked at those numbers and be like, oh, wow, they rushed for over 80 yards. Maybe that helped the offense enough. No, 230 yards. They have not done that since December of 2016. It's been over 9 years since the Steelers rushed for 230 yards.
Wow.
And the last time was when they rushed for 240 in Buffalo.
That was a
in
snow game.
2016.
Le'Veon Bell ran all over him, I think, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
he
what I
set
thought.
the record.
Yeah.
So it's been that long. So think about that. The Steelers have won 2 playoff games since the last time they rushed for 230 yards. So that was, I mean, I had a feeling that a lot of what was going to go down with this game, I was like, it's going to come down to time. If Detroit scores, I think, like, because I had plenty of confidence for the Steelers to get down in field goal range on their last drive, which they did. It just didn't work out. If they would have had enough time, I would have had confidence to do it again. Between the run game and the pass game, the Steelers just had it going. Kudos to that offensive line. I'm going to say it again. Dylan Cook, that's 2 starts now. Was there a sack early where Gainwell was supposed to help Chip and he kind of whiffed? Yes, there was. But man, in the run game, it just seemed like they had it going.
Derrick Henry fumble. New England recovers.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Just keeping everyone up to date. All right. Brian, thoughts on the running game?
Fabulous. This is becoming well-oiled at this point. I trust in Gainwell. I trust in Warren. And wow, I even trust in an old man staggering like he's running from the cops at 2 a.m. after a drunken spree. And that's what Aaron Rodgers looked like. That was an ugly run, but it was beautiful too. Yeah, Jonnu Smith, I like how they're mixing that in. This isn't the Matt Canada jet sweep. This is just a completely different look. And it works so much more for this team. And it's that guy coming at you. We always talk about Washington all the time, and Washington's he's on another plane. But Jonnu coming at you, I don't want to get in front of him either.
No.
So, I really loved the running game today. And Dave, I like the fact that he said that. That's really interesting because, yeah, they had a decent game. I would like to give them 10 yards on each of those Warren runs, give them the 100 because, they're still going to make it on there. But the extra 80 yards, I mean, fantastic. So,
I was talking about if you just took all of his runs out of there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but
that's crazy. Yeah.
He still made those runs, and it would have been a 100-yard game without those big runs. Yeah. So let's go ahead and say fantastic. I mean, it seems like it's coming together, but I want to knock on wood.
Yeah, starting to come together, Pepper, as Lou Brown once said in Major League.
If I can follow up what Brian said about starting to come together, this game, because it was against such a high-quality opponent right before Christmas, a lot like stuff last year, was one where you're like, okay, are they going to come out and show us they can still play, or is this going to be the beginning of the end? This was not the beginning of the end for the Steelers, and that's what a fantastic Christmas present.
Absolutely. In the running game, there's something about watching a run, and this would be in football in general, where it's almost like the Red Sea parts and no one touches the ball carrier. And that happened twice with Jaylen Warren. He said it in his post-game press conference. He said, I don't think on either of those 45-yard runs I was even touched. And he quoted Dylan Cook was one of the primary blockers there. Connor Hayward, for all the haters out there that say, why is he on the team? Did y'all see that block that he threw on that touchdown run? He has a purpose. I'm just saying. Dave, what do you want to add?
On both of those runs, I'm screaming, go, 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 so hard on both of them. I got lightheaded and almost passed out.
I've had that happen before.
Both of them, same feeling. I was like, whoa, what just happened?
Oh my gosh. Get 911 on speed dial. All right. Let's transition to the passing and the pass catchers. Kenneth Gainwell leads the Steelers in receiving, 5 catches on 7 targets for 78 yards, 15.6 yard average. And he did have a touchdown, which that play, in my opinion, completely flipped the script. They were down 10-3. You're thinking maybe they get in field goal range. That catch, which he doesn't get touchdown, 10-10 at halftime. That changes everything, but we continue. Adam Thielen. I had a Thielen. I'm serious. I tweeted this out this morning. I thought that Adam Thielen could have a good game, and he did. 4 catches for 49 yards. Many of those were third down conversions on 4 targets. a 17-yard long. DK Metcalf 4 for 42 on 9 targets. Not the best day for him. Darnell Washington 3 for 36 on 4 targets. He did have a fumble. Pat Freiermuth 4 for 20 on 4 targets. Scotty freaking Miller comes in when Calvin Austin leaves with an injured hamstring. And what does he do? Oh, MVS leaves as well. 4th down conversion, 3rd down conversion, returning punts. It's insane the value he brings. And it's like you don't need to use it until it's an emergency, but man, you're glad you have him. There you go. Like the Steelers have 266 yards receiving, 27 catches, a touchdown, 45-yard long on 38 targets. Pretty crazy. The 3 scoring plays all were 45 yards long. So, Dave, thoughts on the pass catchers?
Pass catchers. Outside of DK Metcalf, I thought they all did a really nice job. That MVS long pass, it's right there. It's close. I'm going to do that. Metcalf struggled. I think that's part of the reason why he had the altercation going on. He had a big drop in there, but they didn't stay away from him. They kept coming back to him, but he was a little bit in a funk in this game. But other than that, just those other guys just stepping up in the way they did. They got the matchup they wanted with Gainwell on a linebacker and took the shot. Just all around. I know the Lions have been struggling on defense, and that's what you need to do against a team that's struggling on defense. How many times have we seen the Steelers go up against a team that's not a very good defense and they can't score points on them? Like week 18 last year against the awful Bengals. They needed to come out and be able to do a lot of stuff. And it wasn't the run defense that was bad against that hasn't been doing well for the Lions. It was the pass defense. So the Steelers, it's not like they just completely took advantage of that. They had it all going. Pass catchers did a great job.
Brian, thoughts on the pass catchers?
I'm going to be simple. Maybe a couple drops here and there, but for the most part, running good routes, and Rodgers was getting to him, and I liked what I saw.
That MVS plays a tough play. And Tony Romo, that's the thing that gets me about Tony Romo. He says on the air, well, if Rodgers would have put that like 2 feet to the left, like, are you serious? He's throwing the ball like 50 yards, and you're talking about 2 feet? I get it.
I think that was tongue-in-cheek, but still, why even bother to say it?
But Romo says it. He's like a mouthpiece for other fans, and then guess what? They start to parrot. The stupid takes like that. Even though I agree with you, Dave, I think he was joking. But I will say that the pass catchers, on a night where DK Metcalf was not on his best game, he did have some drops. Obviously, the sideline shenanigans are not being included in this. I think Adam Thielen is going to be a really important piece of this puzzle down the stretch. I really do. And people might say that guy's washed, whatever. He has that 3rd down conversion style where he can be trusted. He knows where to go. He's a willing blocker. Don't sleep on the depth of this pass catchers, and we'll see how things break down with DK Metcalf. Yes, Brian.
And to that point, they do not need to go out and find an Adam Lazard. I think this lineup is set. This receiver room is set now.
Is Lazard still a free agent? Did he sign with anyone?
I didn't hear that he did.
I don't believe that he did.
And that's why, the only thing, if you do, it's because of the possible suspension for DK.
Or Calvin Austin's hamstring.
Yep. And I'll just say, hey, give him a spot on the practice squad. See,
absolutely.
I'm with you on that.
They don't need to, but yeah, you're right.
But I get what you're saying.
If everything's healthy, they're good to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, lastly, let's talk about the offensive line. Aaron Rodgers was sacked twice. I said should have been 3 because if you go back to that 3rd down play in the 4th quarter, if he would have just dropped down on a knee or just, taken a sack, it would have forced the Lions to use their final timeout. It wouldn't have changed much with the field goal range, but they only give up 2 sacks. Quarterback hits. The Lions, they started out strong but they only end up with 3. So 2 of those quarterback hits are the 2 sacks. Rushing, they obviously ran the ball well. I thought this was a great offensive line performance. Andres Pete was at left guard. Spencer Anderson stayed in his usual role. Even saw some fullback reps. Dave, what was your take on the offensive line?
I thought the offensive line did a nice job. Got to remember, Aaron Rodgers dropped back to pass 45 times.
Yep.
He was sacked twice. He scrambled twice. On the one was that whole RPO thing. Guys were going to be downfield. Romo pointed that out. But I thought that the offensive line was getting the job done. It's funny. Aiden Hutchinson was like wreaking havoc in the first half. I didn't notice him in the second half. I just didn't. And to me, that's a testament to the offensive line and the scheme that they had involved with the blocking. All of it together. This unit is doing a really nice job.
All right, Brian, thoughts on the offensive line?
Yeah, I'm proud of a unit that has had some problems with guys getting hurt. You lost your left tackle. You're on your fourth left tackle, and you're still finding a way to be a young offensive line and still band together. I really like that. Now, Andres Pete, of course, is a veteran. Seumalo's a veteran, but he wasn't in there. But it was really nice to see how they are becoming a unit of one, just a complete unit. So kudos.
This is a group, and Mike Tomlin said in his post-game press conference, they are on their third left tackle, and he's fourth. I'm sorry. Who did I forget?
Well, Calvin Anderson didn't actually play. Okay. He was the backup, but then was hurt.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone's talking about the Detroit Lions injuries. The Steelers had a lot of injuries too. Can we acknowledge that? On the offensive line, they didn't have Isaac Seumalo. Yeah. Dylan Cook is getting his second start at left tackle. Mm-hmm. Zach Frazier popped up on the injury report with a triceps injury. So please, those people that say, well, they beat up on a beat up team, the Steelers had their injuries too. I thought the offensive line played fantastic.
And there's a Patriots touchdown.
Touchdown Patriots. Yep. There you go. Extra point away from tying up 7-7. We're going to keep you updated here if you're watching live. All right.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
It's funny. The offensive line is what creates the ability to both run and pass the ball. But the ability to both run and pass the ball really helps out the offensive line as well. It's the exact cause and effect is tricky there, but the fact that they could get so much going on doing it both ways really, really does help with that line.
Absolutely. All right. For those that are watching live, we're not going anywhere. For those that are, listening to us on a podcast, we're going to be right back after word from our sponsors. We still have to talk about defense, special teams, all that fun stuff. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. Thank you all for being patient. Let's get to some super chats here as people have been kind enough to donate some money, and we don't want to interrupt the flow of the show. So let's get right started with NAS 166 gives us $4.99. Says, after the no calls early, I knew the refs would take over late, and I hate it. NFL, fix the ref situation. Be consistent. Call it the same start to finish.
Can I say something?
Yeah, you're not going to get a debate from me. But go ahead.
No. It was about the call at the end that was offensive pass interference against Amon-Ra St. Brown. My wife, who it's a lot of time, they're asking me questions. I'm like, quiet, I need to hear what they're saying. But seeing that play, she's like, why would he do that when that is such an obvious penalty? I said, you know what? It's only a penalty if the refs call it. And how many times do you see the refs not reach into their pocket because it's the last play of the game? So at least I'm glad that they threw that flag there at the end, because that was so egregious. But I have more of a feeling that when things come from New York, it keeps things a little bit more competitive, even more than the officials in the field.
I agree. And I do think if you watch that play again, which there are not a lot of replays out there, at least on Twitter, of that play, Jalen Ramsey did a good sell job. He did a good sell job.
It was OPI. His arms is what made it so noticeable.
For sure. But Ramsey moves back, head cocks back. It's like the old hockey, if the stick comes near your head, you toss your head back and get the high sticking call. Hey, it works. Okay, let's go on. We continue. Let's see here. $4 from BB. I'm not sure what that is. I'm sorry.
Bresnahan.
There you go. I thought St. Brown's forward progress was stopped. I did too. And so, but that would have had to do with the pitch and where they ruled everything. And all of it was nullified by the offensive pass interference. And that's what needs to be reminded here.
Neither way was Detroit going to be given another opportunity to win there. Yeah.
Arthur Steele gives us $4.99. Says Aaron Rodgers has veteran wisdom, rushing the snap, knowing Detroit has 12 men on the field, knowing Darnell had a fumble, straight up wisdom. He's a grizzled leader. Absolutely. I think it's a great way. Grizzled veteran. He's a good leader. Everyone says how he's just a giant prick and he's a horrible teammate. I haven't seen it covering him from afar. Steeler fan 69 gives us $5. Says took my car to the mechanic because it was making a terrible noise. He removed the Mariah Carey Christmas CD and now it's fine. Oh, well, you like the Mariah Carey?
I actually, ever since Love Actually, I love that song. All I Want for Christmas Is You. I love it.
I like the version in the movie better. With that too.
All right, let's go to Joe B. Gives us $1.99. How about Thielen? Looked really good. Nice to see. Absolutely. I said it. I'll say it again. I think he's going to be a difference maker for this team down the stretch. They need that player in the slot who can do some of those things. Let's go to Thomas JP, 1985. Gives us $1.99. Hate the prevent defense. Score should not ended close. Okay, I just want to say this because we're going to be merging into the defense here shortly. Would you want them to just blitz like crazy and give huge plays to Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Reynolds, who had a touchdown in this game, or Tesla, whatever you say his name? I don't care. They have so many weapons, not to mention Jahmyr Gibbs coming out of the backfield. Do you want them to just blitz? Is that what you want? I don't. Not when you have a 2-score lead. I don't want them to back off 30 yards. I don't think they did that. Dave, you talked about that earlier. Anyone else want to chime in?
I felt like there was still some good aggression going on there. I like outside Steeler fan just put that in the live chat, said on the final drive we were aggressive. I felt that they were still aggressive and honestly getting the pressure up the middle is what they ultimately needed on that pass rush. That kept Detroit on their toes. They couldn't just sit back. My goodness, that one play when they were down, they showed the end zone view where the Steelers only rushed 3. The reason it was an incompletion is there was nobody open. So it wasn't. They didn't run the same defense. But I will also say this: when the offense is running a hurry up, it is difficult to get creative on defense because getting in a different call, making sure everybody's on the same page with that different call. You don't have the time a lot. And that's honestly why I sometimes say I would like the Steelers to run more tempo in order to get more of a basic defense because you almost don't have a choice whenever that happens. So that's just those are things to also keep in mind.
All right, let's go to Wilson Pava. He gives us $22 and says $1 for each winning season. This team also took 22 years off my life today. Thank you guys for being here for the good and the bad. Hope Boz's miss doesn't get in his head. We'll talk about Boswell's miss, but thank you for the large tip. We do appreciate it. And it's crazy to think the last losing season was 2003. 6-10 season. It got you the 11th pick. Like, that's what's crazy. They went 6-10, and it got him the 11th pick, which turned into Ben Roethlisberger. All right, let's go to Thanks Me and Joe. Gives us $5. Says, if the Ratbirds were to lose tonight, do the Steelers have the tiebreaker that would clinch the North? It wouldn't clinch today. They would clinch next week if they beat Cleveland, I believe, right?
They don't, because the only way Baltimore would be alive would be for the Steelers to then lose that tiebreaker. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
So if Baltimore loses tonight, then the only way Baltimore's still alive is if the Steelers were to lose to the Browns, which would then give Baltimore the higher tiebreaker of divisional record if they would beat the Steelers at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is
now it's common opponents that they're saying.
I think that what I'm saying is that if the Ravens lose tonight, and the Steelers obviously already won, and the Steelers go to Cleveland and beat the Browns, does that clinch the AFC North? Or do the Ravens have to lose next week as well?
I don't think. I think it does. I think
that's what I thought,
because I thought the Steelers either Baltimore had to lose 2 and the Steelers win 1 before Week 18, or the Steelers had to win 2 and Baltimore lose 1, and Week 18 wouldn't matter. And I will tell you this right now: remember, the Ravens play 2 games before the Steelers play again. They're playing right now, and they play Saturday when the Steelers don't play until Sunday. Oh. So the Steelers will know what the Ravens have done by the time they play the Browns next Sunday.
I'm intrigued. Okay, Let's talk about the defense now. Let's start off with, I thought, what was an amazing performance, the Steelers' run defense. Now, do I need to remind you that the Detroit offense averaged 131.1 yards per game coming into this game, which was 5th best in the league entering Week 16. The Steelers held them to 15 yards on 12 carries. a 1.3 yard average, a long of 17, which came from David Montgomery, who, if you think about it, he had a long of 17, but he ends up with 14 yards, which means that he lost yardage somewhere along the way. They had the Steelers, let me look up real quick, this tackle for losses. They had 7 tackle for losses in this contest. Jahmyr Gibbs, 7 carries for 2 yards. Jared Goff, 1 for -1. This was something.
And that was a kneel down at the end of the half.
Correct. I mean, I did not see this coming. And I know Derek Harmon's back in the lineup, and he is the godsend on the rush defense, but my goodness, this was insane. Dave, what do you think?
I thought it was amazing that the Pittsburgh Steelers held the Detroit Lions to 18 yards on 11 carries in the first half. The game total was less than that. Do you realize that the Lions only ran the ball 1 time in the second half for -3 yards? The Steelers' run defense was so dominant that Detroit said, you know what? We can't do anything. We're not even going to try. I want to say kudos for them for not being stubborn. Well, we still got to try to run the ball in order to shut up the play action pass. They realized they couldn't do it, so they just stopped. I mean, seriously, second half, 1 carry, -3 yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. There's no way you could have convinced me this is what was going to happen in this game for the Pittsburgh Steelers without TJ Watt and Nick Herbig, just even though they're edge guys, that this would happen this way. If you can stop the run like this against against a team that, yes, they had attrition on their offensive line. But if you can keep backs that good in check to where they're constantly having negative yards, that's what you need this time of year in the NFL.
Bryan Davis, what do you think?
Man, everybody's singing the praises of Harmon, and I know they should, but there's a lot more guys there. Right away, number 33, Jack Sawyer, was making his presence known as well on the rushing defense. Those tackles for losses, and Highsmith was just a man among boys, it seemed. I would expect him to be on the game balls because he had a heck of a game. If he's not, it doesn't matter. I apologize, but he was just that guy. I thought
we're going to keep this to 4 game ball. We have to do 4 players. Yeah. I don't know how we're going to because there were so many good performances.
Yeah, that'll be a tough one. But no, they were really controlling it, and this is one of the best rushing offenses that I've seen all year, where they can just rip your throat out with 1 run, and then you're just done because you can't focus on if they're not going to kill you, then Amon-Ra is going to kill you. And Fisker was ripping them up. And I know we're not talking about the pass defense yet, but at the beginning. And so, they played the way they needed to play, and they found a way to stop them and take them out of their game plan early. And that paid benefits the entire game.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing. I never saw this coming ever.
Never.
And so people are going to look at this and say, well, look at Jared Goff's numbers. And you do. 34 of 54. He threw the ball 54 times, or he attempted passes. For 364 yards, he averaged 6.7 yards per attempt. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked 3 times for a rating of 101.2. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I didn't feel like Jared Goff had a great game, though. Did you all see it differently than I did? Dave, what do you think about that?
Let's just say this. He had some antsy moments because the pressure the Steelers were putting on him. I mean, oh my goodness, Alex Highsmith almost had. I mean, he was just a fraction late to where he could have had a huge play. I think that was early in the first, not early, but in the first half. But I mean, the Steelers kept Jared Goff. The biggest thing that they did is they kept him on the sideline in the third quarter. They ran 3 plays.
Yeah.
He completed 1 pass for 2 yards. Yes, he threw for 200 yards in the fourth quarter. But at the same time, when that was going on, the Steelers ran for 135 yards in the fourth quarter. So you can kind of look at it all you want. You're like, yeah, they did all that. Detroit barely outgained the Steelers in the fourth quarter, throwing the ball for 200 yards. They still only had a net of 197 because of the run game. So, yeah, it was that. They did what they had to do. They're the number one scoring offense in the NFL for a reason, people. They've got talented people. And I was shocked that the score was 10-10 at halftime. I'm like, this is not what I expected. Everyone was talking about how, those of you who took the over, Well, guess what? They hit the over ultimately in this game. So it was, because it was, right? Was it 50?
51.5 when we did the preview.
Yep. And it ended up being 53, right?
Yep.
Oh, no more than that. 50. Yeah. No. Yeah. 53.
53.
Yeah. I was trying to remember what the score was in my head because I kept giving Detroit touchdowns at the end when they were calling for them. So what are we talking about? Oh, Jared Goff. Yeah. I felt that that the Steelers did a nice job in all against the pass, both combining the pass rush and what they were doing in the secondary, especially with Jalen Ramsey having to move out of the safety spot.
My gosh, that was hysterical. Dave talked for 4 minutes and then said, "What are we talking about?"
That wasn't 4 minutes. I wasn't that bad. It's not like it was Brian's closing thoughts or something.
That is true.
Wow. Let's throw the shot at Brian.
Brian is catching strays left and right and didn't say a word. Brian, what did you think about the Steelers' pass defense against Jared Goff?
You're right. I didn't think he took what he can get, and you're going to have to give up something. When you're stopping the run like that, you can't just stop everything. It's very hard to shut down everything, especially someone that's that potent in throwing the football. And you've got Jameson Williams, who is he's over 1,000 yards now. He is turning into a superstar as well. And you know how I feel about Amon-Ra. I think he's fantastic. And they shut these guys down, and Dave's right. They had him kind of antsy early because they were getting in his face. They were doing everything to stop him. And yeah, you're going to give up yards in this league. I have no problem giving up 300 passing yards, 300 plus. But on 54 balls, that's not as potent as you would think. So, you know what? I really thought they didn't have much of the long shots. They didn't have the killer balls that just they went deep and killed you in a hurry. Yeah, they had some low percentage plays that hit, but at the end, JPJ was so good there, helping shut them down. I think everything is starting to come together. It's just coming together later than people thought. But in this league, you're going to get losses because parity is on the rise each and every year.
Go ahead, Dave. What are you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say one thing when it did come to the pass defense. It's one thing to give up a 27-yard touchdown on 4th and 2. It's another thing to do it after you called a timeout to get set. So that would I know Samuel fell down and couldn't make the tackle. But that was one of the more disheartening things in the game is that you called a timeout that you could have really needed later in the game in order to set your defense on 4th down when Goff was kind of hobbled by having his foot stepped on, and then you gave up a touchdown, a 27-yard touchdown. That one was tough to swallow. But other than that, I thought the pass defense did what they needed to do to win the game.
So let's go over the receiving for Detroit. Jameson Williams leads the Lions 5 catches on 9 targets for 70 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 10 catches on 13 targets for 66. Khalif Raymond, 4 for 62. How about Amon-Ra St. Brown? The 4th person I'm listing, 4 catches on 9 targets for 54 yards. Isaac Tesla, 4 for 52. Anthony Ferkser, 4 for 40, and Shane Zeistra. Where do they get these names and these people? Good God. Okay. Anyways, there you have it. I thought the pass defense for the Steelers, you lose Brandon Eccles to a groin injury. Dave called it. He said it before on the preview that that's going to force Jalen Ramsey into that nickel spot, and he did okay there. But then Chuck Clark, who needs to hit
interceptions.
No, that last one, I'm not putting that on Chuck. That last one was tough. That was a great pass breakup.
Yeah.
But my gosh, I mean, it's one of those situations where hit the jugs machine. He could have had 2 picks easily, but this team, the injuries, in case you are late joining us, Brandon Eccles left the game with a groin injury. Calvin Austin III with a hammy. Those soft tissues very rarely are good enough for next week. It's going to be tough. Brian, what was your take on everything?
Yeah, you know what? Your comment about the jugs machine and everything, that's still really hard when you're not expecting it. So much easier everyone talks about, well, they'd be receivers. Well, no, because if you put receivers in as defensive backs, they'd be doing the same thing because they turn around, the ball's there and they don't know what's coming to them. But they're still getting very good defense out of guys like Chuck Clark. So I'm fine with that. I don't put him on a loser's list. I thought he was making defensive plays, and I'll just take the defensive plays. But I like how they shut this team down for the most part. I was getting worried early with the whole Ferkser thing, and because it looked like, man, they're just going to go to this guy like crazy. But they shut them down. Was it a 3-and-out in the first series of the game? Was that a 3-and-out?
Yes, it was.
And you know what? I felt like, wow, this is a team that should come out and just completely put their foot on your chest right away. And they seem to have, it's almost like Spygate in a way where it seemed like they knew what was coming. And it's very rare that the Steelers seem to know what's coming. And they either scouted this game really well, they coached it, prepared it very well. I thought it was a great defensive performance. I'll give Gerald Alexander and I will give Terrell Austin a lot of credit for this.
All right. Dave, anything to add?
Because I just saw the Patriots, kick a field goal.
They got a field goal. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a field goal. Brian was talking about that very first drive. Yeah, they came out right away, quick pass, got 7 to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Very next play, got a sack, Keanu Benton. That kind of was set. They didn't even run the ball the first drive. So that was a big one. But I also want to say this. When I said the possible interceptions with Chuck Clark, defensive backs know the ball's coming their way in the air. They're just supposed to stop it. You got a big man drop it off the line of scrimmage, basically to the end zone, and the ball comes out. Well, first of all, I was like, man, if you'd intercepted that'd be great. If he doesn't knock that ball down, that is an easy touchdown. Now that was on the drive they got a touchdown anyway, I do believe, but that was a nice play. But that's a guy that's never expected to actually be able to.
Are you talking YA?
Yes. that was fun.
Okay. I thought that, yeah. And his belly's hanging out, which is always funny too.
Yeah.
So, all right. I want to talk about special teams here. Guys, what are your take on Chris Boswell? It was a low snap on the missed field goal.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a good hold by Corliss Waitman, but that was a chip shot, guys. Again, I'm not concerned about it moving forward because he did hit a 59-yarder in this game as well. But Dave, you're the kicking expert on the show. What did you think?
It sucked that Boswell missed the kick. Boy, was that a loud doink. If he kicks that a little bit higher, they probably give him the kick if it goes above the upright.
You're right.
But honestly, it was a bad snap. It almost cost the Steelers the game. But you know what? It didn't. So guess what? Still love Boz going forward because I'm going to do what Boz does. What makes him such a good kicker is he has amnesia. He doesn't let the last one bother him.
Be a goldfish. Right, Brian?
Yes. yes.
Any thoughts on Boz, Brian?
No, I have no concerns because I would have felt more concerned if that was wide right and it was a doink. And, you get an inch.
I think you should get 4 points for a doink.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think you should. Well, actually, I think you should get like 1. You should get something
if it's the crossbar.
I mean, because that's a harder thing to do than get it through the upright. No, I'm not concerned. It's a missed field goal. I mean, they still happen in this league a whole lot more. He is still one of the leaders. I have no concerns.
All right. All right, we have a super chat to get to here. Our buddy Tom Muir, or Tom Plays Games, gives us $9, $1 for every W. Sorry, I'm so late. 3 down, 6 to go. The offensive line looked amazing today. DK is a DA and is getting suspended. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. All right, thank you for the tip. We do appreciate it. Okay, guys, let's wrap it up. Dave, final thoughts. What do you think?
Final thoughts. I know some fans, especially early on, you're saying, oh, my goodness, they're giving me a heart attack. It's another coronary game. Oh, I was so nervous. Oh, it was down to the end. I mean, I'm sitting there. I'm trying to get an update on the Steelers media site before I'm actually seeing on the TV. There's nothing updating it there. I'm just going bonkers and everything. You know what? I said it before, this was the game when the schedule came out that you thought, oh, that's going to be the hardest one to win. They were by far the biggest underdog in this game of any game they've had this season. The fact that it was a heart attack game was a good thing. That meant the Steelers were in the game. The biggest thing that the Steelers needed for this was to be in the game. And not only were they in the game, they won the game. So my thing is, it wasn't just about, oh, what's their record? What are they going to do in postseason? Blah, blah, blah. The Steelers have been on the rise. They're playing their best football at the right time of year. That's what you need. I know so many fans are saying it, whether it's in the live chat, whether you see it on social media, or whether just in conversations you have with Steelers fans. A lot of people are like, are they going to win in the playoffs? Do you know what it takes to win in the playoffs? To be playing well at the end of the season. And so far, that's what the Steelers have done in December. They've had a December to remember so far. They've got to keep it up. And let's lock up this division, and let's do something that the Steelers haven't done since the 2017 season, and that is host a playoff game in a full stadium in Pittsburgh. Let's get it done. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays for whatever you celebrate, and go Steelers.
Brian, final thoughts.
This was one of these games that I'm going to look back on and probably having bad memories in another 20 years if you guys don't fire me by then. It was so special because, I told you earlier, I was holding hands with my son watching this game. The rest of the family came in, and we were just going crazy. And for 17 years, the kid didn't care about the Steelers. Now he's playing Madden. He's doing this. He's playing fantasy. He's bought in on the Steelers, and he knows a lot. He knows more than I did at that age, and I knew a lot. And he picked it up quickly, and it's amazing. So I have this bond with him, and he did something that, he still does some overzealous things. Like Dave mentioned how his one son celebrated a little bit too early. But my son did something different. He's like, Dad, we need it. Hey, Siri, play Renegade. And that was right on the last couple plays. And we're playing Renegade. And I didn't want to say, don't jinx it. I don't want to be the curmudgeon. And it seemed to fire us up. And that's what counts. Football to me is about friends and family more than it is of just a game. And it means so much more. All of my stories usually have something dirty going on or family. One of two things, but most of the time it's family. And that's what it's about. To be able to celebrate this game with all of you here, to celebrate with these two guys that I consider so close to me, that I consider like my family, it feels good. So I want to reiterate what Dave said. Merry Christmas. Enjoy this. There's nothing like going into the holiday with a Steeler win and feeling like there's going to be some significant January action. And everybody loves January action when it's black and gold and when it's on the gridiron. So go, man, go. I love it.
A couple super chats here before my final thoughts. Thanks, Mean Joe gives us $5. Says, yeah, guys, week 1 of retirement. This is the life for me. Congratulations. A good win for you to kick off your retirement. And then my buddy Heath gives us $5. Says, Dan Campbell's the type of guy who eats soup with a fork, always trying to ice skate uphill. Well said. Thank you for the tip. And I'm going to finish my final thoughts off with, it is the holiday season. I'm going to quote one Mr. Clark Griswold. And the way that I felt watching this game was at the very tail end of his epic rant, which you can watch on YouTube yourself, where he says, "Hallelujah, where's the Tylenol?" That's the way I felt at the
you edited the middle of it out.
Yes. But that's the way I felt. And I want to remind everyone, when you have these highs, it's great to be around other fans. And there's some people that don't have any other fans to be around. And so that's why our live chat is so great. If you're listening to this on audio, check us out on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Steel Curtain Network. And if you're on YouTube and you're wondering where can I go to kind of communicate with people, steelcurtainnetwork.com is a great community. It's growing. The website is really great. You have really good commenters that'll just, you're not going to belittle you for having a question or a comment. You can communicate with me, Dave, any other writers, Coach Kevin Smith, that are contributors on the written side. Give all of our stuff a try, and then by all means, share it. It's a season of sharing, everyone. If you know a Steeler fan, send them a podcast, send them the website, steelcurtainnetwork.com. What's up, Dave?
People were asking about if we have a change in the schedule this week.
Oh, we will. Yes, we will.
I mean, we will. If nothing else, tune into the Scobro Show on Tuesday. We'll still be going at 9 p.m. Pittsburgh time, and we can announce anything else from after that at that point. Other
than that, though, the hangover should be Monday night.
Yeah.
Scobro Tuesday. There'd be some adjusted schedules with the holiday. Pump Your Brakes will probably still be Wednesday. I don't know. I got to talk with Tate and see what's going on. But still, thank you all for joining us live. Thank you all for listening. Be a part of Steel Curtain Network. The Steelers win. Let's celebrate. We'll see you next week. Take it easy, everyone.
Steel Curtain Network. Get it.
Everybody else gets a little tight.